My name is Christina, and I'm doing a heritage assessment for my cultural diversity and health and illness course at Arkansas State University. And this morning I'm assessing Mr. Slayton Thompson. Mr. Thompson, thank you for allowing me to talk with you this morning.
Oh, welcome to our home. We're happy to have you here.
My first question is, where was your mother born?
My mother was born in, I believe, Alabama.
And where was your father born?
Paducah, Kentucky.
And where were your grandparents born? Your mother's mother and mother's father?
Well, maybe one of my 8 or 9 brothers and sisters would know. I can't remember where my mother was, her parents, but they lived in Beloit, Wisconsin, and my dad's family lived in Decatur, Illinois. Yeah.
Okay. And how many brothers do you have?
I've got eight brothers and 3 sisters.
And
In the background is my wife over there making sure I don't make any mistakes, you guys. That's what you hear, so it's not an echo.
Also, something that's interesting is you're a twin.
Yes, I am, but I look better than he does. I'm a little bit better. I hope he's looking at this right now.
What setting did you grow up in? Was it urban or rural?
It was a jungle. No, it was it was a city kind of in Rockford, Illinois, back in the 40s. I was born in 1948, and it was a pretty, well, you know, in 48, it was different for lots of people, and for us, it was an urban city, you know, urban area. Yeah, we lived right on the edge of the top of the city.
And your mother and father grew up in the United States. And when you were growing up, who lived with you?
Everybody. Our house was like the United Nations. Yeah. What I mean is, there was 8 boys and 3 girls, and 4 nephews, and there was a guy named Smitty. I thought he was a relative, and Seal too. I gotta mention him. My mom she saw this baby in a baby bed, and he had maggots in the diapers, and she was visiting this woman, very poor, and she was an alcoholic. So my mother, who was not an alcoholic, took the baby and brought it home and raised it like he was our brother. And so when I say our home was open, she was like Mother Teresa when it came to working with people, even though we were very poor. But Mom could split beans, and she just taught us deal with it.
Grew up in a very loving, caring family.
Well, I say 8 boys and 3 girls, a lot of love there.
Caring family. And have you maintained contact with your aunts and uncles and cousins?
Well, here's my dad. Okay.
And what was his name, if you want to share that?
His name is William Slayton Thompson, like me, Slayton Thompson. And this is my mom. Her name is Beatrice Owens.
She's beautiful.
Thompson.
And your father, interesting that your father served in the military.
There they are together. Handsome, handsome, handsome.
Tell us what branch of the military that your father...
He was in the Army. He served in the Philippines.
And in the war, too. He was
World War II, yeah. I'm a Vietnam vet. And my twin served 3 terms in Vietnam. And my brother, who died of Agent Orange Sydney, he served in Vietnam. And Mike served in the Navy. Will John served in the Air Force. And let's see, Butch, Mike, Mary, Jonathan. No, none of my sisters served in this. But all my brothers served.
Served your country.
You got a niece, Angela.
But I don't know if Angela, well, niece. I don't know much about her service.
And how many children do you have?
I have one biological son, Eric Thompson, and I had three foster. We had three foster children. And my wife's name is Linda Whaley Thompson.
That's right.
Stepson.
We'll let everybody meet Miss Linda here in just a few minutes, if you'd like that. So did most of your aunts and uncles and cousins live near your home when you were growing up
Thank God.
in your
No,
community?
well, they were scattered. They were all over the place. Lived out in the woods. They lived out in the country, and they just lived everywhere.
How often did you visit family members that lived outside of your home? Daily, weekly, monthly?
Well, we visited a lot. My dad had a car with a booster seat in the back of it. It's like a Model T thing. You had to crank the front of it. I'm 69 years old, so I remember cranking that up. Hey, you know what? I think I had a picture. Yeah, sorry about that. That's just three of us. And on the back, oh, that's the suit. We wore those suits. We got to wear those suits once in a blue moon because with a big family, you didn't wear clothes every day. We wore bib overalls most of the time. I suppose in this area, that's no big deal.
You got dressed up for church.
Yeah, I hated those straw hats though, because me and my brother, twin, we all had straw. My brother and I wore straw hats, and then my sister and her twin, but he had a big head, so I don't know.
What is your religious preference?
Church.
And the denomination?
I'm a Christian.
Christianity.
Yeah, but I don't really get into this Baptist, Methodist, Lutheran. The older I get now, I don't like politics in the church, so I believe in Jesus. I go to church,
That's right.
but I believe in Jesus.
Is your spouse the same belief and faith as you?
I plead the fifth.
Is your spouse the same ethnic background as you are?
I plead the fifth again on that one too.
Um,
No, she was raised Church of Christ, and then she is pretty faithful. She believes in, like I do. She believes in Jesus, and she doesn't like politics in the church, and she believes in helping people and loving people, and we know how to cipher between what's real and what's not real to keep our family together. We have to. There's so much stuff out there.
and I'd like for everyone to meet Mrs. Thompson at this time. Linda, would you like to sit with us?
Just for my hair.
Mrs. Thompson.
Take up all the room here. Can you be seen? There. Now, can we see our spokesperson? Well, that's okay. You can see.
Okay.
You can't see that little thing is not really in the picture. See?
That's okay. My instructor, she knows I'm here
Yeah.
with you guys. What kind of school did you go to? Was
We
it?
lost about 100 people just now.
What kind of school did you go to? Was it public, private, parochial?
We went to a very public school. Public.
And it was integrated.
It was integrated on paper. Very rough school year.
Rough times.
Yeah, that school district got sued for, and they always talk about the South, but this is in Rockville, Illinois. Horrible time. The superintendent was Dr. Thomas Shaheen. Tried to fix all that, and they got rid of him, and he died. But he went to Ithaca, New York. Matter of fact, Teachers College has used his methods of instructional, like Barbara Clarosa and Harry Wong and all those innovators in the educational disciplines. But he was way ahead of his time, Dr. Thomas Shaheen, S-H-E-E-N, Shaheen. He was ahead of his time. He knew Rockford School District was not integrated. They were segregated. And even those who were integrated, they didn't teach all the kids the same way. And certain schools got things that others didn't. So it was kind of rough going in our school district. That's not to say that kids didn't get educated and do wonderful things. and become lawyers, doctors, but there were still a few who were more than a few because the federal government took over the school district and they lost their funding for a while there.
So it's safe to say that you lived in a neighborhood and went to school with people who weren't the same religion or the same ethnic community.
Yeah, it's safe to say that.
Okay. And do you belong to a religious institution?
Institution.
Right. That word's kind of iffy.
I don't belong to any institution. Probably after this, I'll be part of what called mental. Say that again.
Do you belong to a church?
Oh yes. Oh, absolutely. Yes, I belong to church. Yes, I do.
And would you describe yourself as an active member?
Let me define church. I believe in God the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth. I believe in Jesus Christ, our only Son, who died for our sins. I believe that he died, and on the third day he was resurrected. And he's coming back to judge us. I believe in Jesus. And I believe that the church, I was taught, as a matter of fact, in John Hamilton's book called The Apostles' Creed, the church is inside of us, the individual person. Now, I know what you're saying, and I'm not trying to complicate this, but I really believe in the bottom of my heart, more so today than I did when I worked blindly, that our actions represent our church. Without people, there's no church. You can have a building. If it's empty and you're not there, is it still a church? It's an empty building. So the people make up the church. So I believe in church. I believe in people. I believe there's the greater of hope, and so I can walk into any building that says they are a church and still worship Christ.
That's right. Where two or three are gathered.
Yes.
Are your friends the same? Do you have friends that are of the different religions than you, or
Oh,
are
absolutely.
they all the same religion?
Oh, no.
And you have friends that are different ethnicities.
I have friends who their partners are different. Their lifestyle is different. They look different, talk different, and they're just different. And so, what our commonality is our belief in humanity. That's how I pick my friends, on the basis of
Character.
am I safe with this person, and sometimes it's good to get away from people so they can have room to grow, so you can go back to them.
And what is your native language?
Arkansas. No, yeah, I've learned Arkansas since I've been here. I've been here 3 years now. Kind of like it, y'all.
Well, I appreciate you allowing me to talk with you.
I just want to say
this
one
morning.
thing. Please give her an A for this. You know, she's been here longer than this video, and I'm really putting her through the mill. Believe me. I mean, we went around the world. We went from the NAACP. What's that? I said, well, it's not cars. And
And I have enjoyed it. I have enjoyed talking with you this morning, Mr. Thompson.
well, we enjoyed you. Haven't you enjoyed it,
Yes,
honey?
yes, I always enjoy Christina.
See? And you can all look. Let me tell you, instructor. You guys can come back, and I would be happy to go to your class and talk about HP equals CP equals CC equals MI. High potency, close proximity, clear communication, maximum impact. And I think for the nursing field, it's a wonderful, wonderful stewardship. It's the closest things to walking angels that you can have here on earth, because people come without any perceived. They come to get help. When they walk in that door, nobody ever walks in there and asks for a cup of coffee and sit down and let's have a talk. They come in to help. And I think you're doing a wonderful thing. And I think the fact that this course can teach that blood is blood. And every life's important. And this new generation, even though there's been a lot of hostility in the past, and there'll probably be hostility in the future, but the one thing that stays core to the purpose of healing is love for humanity. And I think this young lady right here is going to go heal a lot of people emotionally and psychologically, and God will take care of the rest.
Thank you. and I've enjoyed it. It's perfect.
You're welcome.
Thank you.